Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for March 11th, 2018. So this week was kind of a weird week. It was technically the last week I should be doing a whole lot of overtime. I'm hoping this next week is going to be pretty calm compared to last month. And that's my cat getting up on my bookshelf. Nice. Anyway, Truman. Anyway, so I'm just going to go through what happened with my reading. I had a weird reading week. I did accomplish some things, but I also DNF'd a few things. So I don't know, I don't think it was anything to do with having overtime or stressed, or because I wasn't stressed, I was really just overtime, sorry. But, you know, I just don't feel like dealing with certain things. And I thought, well, maybe that's what these books were, but really I think I just DNF'd because they weren't books for me. So I'll go through those first. So last week I was trying to read The Armored Saint by Mike Cole. Did I tell you guys I DNF'd this? Or oh, I think I said that I might come back to this. Well, after further deliberation, I am just not going to read anymore. I know I got to about 165 out of like 203, and I just have no compunction to pick this up. I just think it's just not for me. And I said, I think the premise and everything is still cool. I just think it went in directions that I was like, I don't get it. And then it just kind of explodes into action around the point where I stopped. And instead of wanting to pick it up, I wanted to set it down. So that book, I'm probably going to get rid of it, which is sad. Because I'm trying to be better about actually DNFing things and saying, not just leaving them on my currently reading list on Goodreads for like years. So I'm trying to cut it all down. So I pretty much actually got my Goodreads. I used to have like 19 to 20 books listed. I'm down to like 5. Because there are still a couple that I'm like, I really want to read that I got to the middle of or give it another shot. And I just haven't got to those. And then of course, whatever. And then one book I am partially in right now. So kind of, anyway, that was just a side note. So I also tried Still Alive by Louise Penny this week, and I did not get along with this. I really wanted to. I know this is a mystery series that people really like, and I did like the character Chief Inspector Gamache. I think I would have kept reading. This has to do with a stylistic issue with the narrative. So speaking to jumping heads. So my problem with this is that you're in somebody's head, and then the next paragraph you're in somebody else's head, and then you're in somebody else's head, and you're in the same chapter or the same section. And I don't have problems with narrative switching when it's like a romance novel, when it's going between the two characters, the two romantic interests, like it makes sense. Or if there's a chapter break and then it changes perspective and then changes back to somebody else, you know, like I need better clues. And this one was not hard to follow. I totally followed it. I just didn't like it. I didn't like jumping in and out of suspects' heads. And I mean, I guess for me in mysteries, that's not fun for me. I like to have it where it's the detective. I just realized this really, is that I really like it when it's just the detective's narrative or somebody involved on, you know, who's the victim's friend or whatever, and it's their perspective of the whole deal of everything going on. I like those so much more than getting in and out of people's heads. I don't enjoy this. Even in my epic fantasy, I want more definition between my narratives, their POV switches. I didn't realize, so I do know that I have issues with that in other books. I just didn't realize how much in a mystery that annoys me and bothers me, or I can't get into it. So I gave up after 70 pages. It just wasn't for me. As much as I think that the setting was great, I mean, the writing is great other than that, and I'm sure the mystery's good. I didn't get, you know, far enough really, but I have trouble with the POV switches, and that's just a personal problem, if you want to put it that way, or just something that I just don't deal with well. And again, that could be because of my writer brain, or it's just the way I process how POV should be. I don't know. The other book I did finish the buddy read that we did on House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielowski. I love this book. Again, as I said, this was a reread for me. I read this when it first came out because I knew that this was the brother to a music artist, Poe, who I really loved in the 90s, and I knew that her album Haunted had come out or was coming out, they were out around the same time, and it was heavily influenced by this, which that album is awesome. If you guys have ever listened to it, let me know. But I totally love Poe, and this is her brother, and if you listen to it and read the book at the same time, it's really, you can see all the influences. It's great, the music. But the book is awesome. I would recommend this to anybody who is willing to take the time to do this. I think breaking it up did help in the beginning, but then you finally get to a point where you just have to read to the end. I did it for about 9 days, and on the 9th day I was like, that's it, I need to finish this book out. So I finished it out. Again, I love this book. I still have 5-star read for me. There's still some unsatisfying questions, I think, because the book is weird, but I just love that you're going back and forth. You got pictures, you got interviews and things, like it's like all mixed kind of stuff in it. And as I said, some pages just have a couple of words on it, so you flying through them and you're trying to figure out what's happened to the end. I just love this book, and it was great. As I said, it's been 17 years since I read it when it first came out, and it's still as powerful as I remember. I still think it's funny that I remember the beginning almost like exactly. I remembered everything from the beginning, but I could not remember how it ended, and it was just one of those things, like obviously I knew kind of how it ended, but I could not remember how it all came together. So that was what was really cool, is that it was like I still got to rediscover the middle part was kind of all new to me, or I didn't remember it. So that was neat. But again, I said it was 17 years ago, so I do have a good reason for that. But I would recommend that to anybody who's willing to take a little chance on some kind of experimental story, because it is a film within a book with a lot of notes. It's great. I love it. Anyway, but you need time to read it and you need to focus on it, but I love that book. Anyway, and I want to thank Juliet Pages at Pens for putting the Buddy Read Along thing on Twitter. That was awesome. I had fun talking about it and seeing what everybody else was saying about the Buddy Read. It was great. But actually I finished a book before that. I kind of jumped ahead. I kind of missed that. But I did finish Survivors Will Be Shot Again by Bill Kreider. This is book 23 and the Dan Rhodes mystery series. I love this series. This is my first March Mystery Madness book that I picked, because this was one that was on my shelf, so that's my shelf pick. I love this series, and as I said, I only have one more of his left, so I'm really sad, but this book was just as good as all the rest of them. I just love this series. It's like a cozy procedural, because it's a small Texas county, and he's the sheriff, and he's got all these funny people who work for him, and all the people in the county that kind of the stories do build on each other. I do recommend starting at the beginning of the series, but I don't know, I just think they're so you still get everything. He still explains things, but it's still like, it's just a great series, and I just love this series. And I'm gonna have to, once I finish the last book, I'm gonna reread the whole series. Of course, my dad has all my books, so I have to get them back from him, because he was reading them maybe like a year or two ago, and I just haven't got it back yet, so I gotta get it back. But anyway, I really enjoyed this. This one was cool. It had an alligator, and it had a alligator snapping turtle, which I had never heard of. I guess I had to go look at pictures on that, because that was pretty cool. So anyway, I just love this. It was, as I said, it was a good, really good mystery. So so I finished House of Leaves on Friday, and Friday night, like pretty late actually. And I was like, well, I'm not going to pick anything up right now. So I have a lot of library books to choose from. But yesterday, I could not pick anything up. I tried several of the library books, and I was just like, nah, I don't feel like that right now. Let's not do that. I picked up some of the books that I have, because I still have on my TBR for March Mystery Madness, at least these books that I own. So I do want to still try these. Yesterday, they just didn't appeal to me. So I did return to On the Map by Simon Garfield. So I did read a little bit of this. I'm still not very much. I'm still taking this just a little bit at a time. But because I have a book coming from the library today, which I'm going to go pick up a whole stack, and then I'm done. I have to stop going to the library for a little while because it's just overwhelming me again. But I do... I want to get through this because that's another nonfiction that I want to take slow, so I need to finish this. So I'm going to try to read some of this today, because yesterday I could not read anything. Like, I did some stuff in the morning. I mean, I did some filming, and then I did some stuff around the house, and then I knew I had to be somewhere at 5, so I thought, oh, well, I'll read something, of course, because all afternoon. And I could not get myself to read anything, and I hate when I feel like that. So even, I didn't feel like picking up the nonfiction right, for too long. I put it back down. So I did restart my reread of Silver Silence by Nalini Singh, my go-to for picking up a book I just could pick up and I can set down if I have trouble reading with anything. Again, she's my favorite right now to pick up as a reread if I just want to dive into a world for a little while, and then so I could actually read this like probably today, and then I'll put it down and I won't finish it because I've read the book several times already. But anyway, this is like, I think, book 16 in her Side Changeling series, but I just love all these books, but this is the newest one, and I think it's probably because I got noticed that the newest one that's coming out in June, we got a little snippet of it, and I'm thinking about this world. So I don't know if I'm going to read that today or not. I just picked it up last night because I wanted to read something and nothing was calling to me, so I picked up a reread. So that's kind of where I'm at. I do have some really good library books coming in today. One of it is my Simon R. Green, the next Ishmael Jones book, Into the Thinnest Air. So I'm almost positive that's the book I'm going to start reading as soon as I get it. Then there's some other stuff that I got, and we'll see what happens. I'm just kind of, like, I'm in a weird mood this weekend, and I don't know why my reading is affected, because, it's the weekend. I should be having fun. So, anyway, so that's kind of my update. Kind of a weird one, I guess. I mean, as I said, I kind of was all over the board. I did finish a couple things. I did DNF a couple of things. And I don't know what I'm going to read here once I'm done here. I don't know. We'll see. It's a Sunday. We'll see what happens. So anyway, that's all. I hope you guys had a good reading week, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.